7:14 on this Wednesday morning. Potentially, for many of you, today could be a day where you wake up and go, not this again. Debra Macleod, there's arguments or there's the cold shoulder. Spouses have stopped getting along.
Right.
But we're talking about marriages in crisis mode today. How do you know when your marriage has gone to the next level, so to speak?
You know, it's funny you say it like that, because this is what I see a lot of times. Women know. Most, and I'm speaking generally, but most women tend to have a sense of when their relationship is crisis. Sometimes guys don't have a clue. Let's be like, I thought everything was fine, and all of a sudden I wake up and, you know, everything's on the front step kind of thing. So you don't always know, but you should know. So you have to take your cues from your partner. If they've been complaining, if they've been saying, you know, things not right or whatever, it's probably in crisis if they've said it more than a few times, even if it's not a big drama.
You know, newlyweds are going to be able to testify to this. People are going to go, listen, marriage is hard work. It's tough. You got to stay committed.
Shouldn't be that tough, but
you know, da-da-da-da-da. All these sort of like, I don't want to call them dismissive pieces of advice, but they're a heads up. But when you use the word crisis, I mean, outside the context of a marriage, a crisis is when a region of the province floods.
Something is big,
There's destruction.
Absolutely, and there's those external things that happen, something big like that, a flood, or your house starts on fire, something like that. And then there's those internal things that happen within the marriage. People tend to get them screwed up a lot, where they like to blame other things on their problems, right? Money is a classic one. You know, money is our problem. It's not money. The money's not leaping out of your wallet. You know, you're not spending wisely. Right? It's not what you make, it's what you keep, that kind of thing. Affairs are another big one. Broken trust. Oh, well, she was pursuing my husband, or, well, he seduced my wife, and all this kind of, I don't think so, right? They loved it, that kind of thing. So know where the issue really lies. But for a crisis, that immediate time when you know something is wrong, my biggest gripe is that people don't do anything about it. If you get shot, right? Like, if you watch The Walking Dead, you know, when that one guy, Herschel, got bitten by a zombie, what did they do?
Nice reference.
Did they just sit, well, I mean, did they sit around and
they
just
got
watch?
out the hatchet.
They had got out the hatchet, right? If there's been an affair in your marriage, you need a big gesture. You got to close down that Facebook account with no excuses. You got to change your cell phone number, no excuses. Like, oh, you know, all my work contacts, oh, please, right? That can all be dealt with.
It sounds to me like you're implying that if a marriage is in crisis mode, it's because at least one or maybe both of the people involved are failing to reflect any sort of accountability.
Well, usually it is. And maybe they're accountable, but even when they do become accountable, they don't do anything about it. It's the biggest problem. They'll say, yes, I was awful that I did that. I have been spending too much. I was texting her, but then they don't go the final step and end that relationship, you know, get a new number, get off Facebook, quit a job, fire an employee that's acting inappropriately, whatever. They don't go that further step. What they do is they jump ahead to more long-term solutions. Let's talk about our communication. Let's talk about how we problem solve. And it's like, no. You're in the emergency department. You have to take big, dramatic, quick steps here to save things before you go on to, you know, lifestyle changes.
There's a husband or a wife or a partner watching right now going, I know all this. I know everything Debra's talking about. I've read about it. I've done my research. But the fact of the matter is my partner just doesn't care. There's
not a damn thing you can do about that. There's absolutely nothing you can do about that. Those are the marriages where I say pull the plug and bail.
Really?
Absolutely, I do. People spend too much time in those kind of relationships where you have a partner that's not motivated.
Okay, then let me ask you this. How do you know someone goes, okay, well, listen, we haven't had romantic moments for a while. What we need to do is focus more on the romance. We need to give more to each other. We do need to invest back in the relationship, but it's so easy just to quit. How do you know when till death do us part means that, and how do you know when it's time, like you said, to pull the plug?
I think if you see no consistent effort on the part of your partner, and that's the only way to answer it. And you kind of know in your gut. I mean, if somebody says, yes, I'll never say that word to you again, or I'll never text her again, or I'll rub your back more, or whatever they say, and they do it once and they stop, and that happens over and over and over again, you know, you can tell by past behavior how your future is going to be. Not everybody is compatible. And I mean, my business is Marriage SOS. We try to keep it together. But in this day when you see so much narcissism and you see so much me, and people won't make these big gestures and they won't stay in there long term, it's just not worth it.
You reach that point where it's the last thing you want to do, but you're going to pursue a divorce. You're going to
Right.
look into a separation, whatever the case may be. You're acknowledging the elephant in the room. How much of a fair heads up do you give your partner? Do you use it in, I don't want to use the word threat, but do you say, I'm thinking about filing for divorce, or do you put the papers in front of them?
No, I think it's okay to put an ultimatum out there, as long as you're using an ultimatum as kind of a personal boundary. Saying, look, if we're not seeing a professional by this time, if we're not happier by this time, we need to pull the plug. We need to file for
If you're
separation.
saying it, you better mean it.
But you better mean it. That's the thing. Don't just call their bluff. Kind of
Debra Macleod is the genius behind MarriageSOS.com. You can learn more about what she does by checking out her website or by checking out the Inside BT link on our website, breakfasttelevision.ca. Always great to see you. Thanks for the straight talk.
Thank you.
When we come back, more from Bridget Ryan. She's down at Gallagher Park today getting set for Edmonton's International Folk Fest. That kicks off tomorrow. We'll take you behind the scenes to meet some of the real talent.